All right, well, we've got a couple mailbag questions. Do we want to get into those, or is there anything else on the Inca turn we want to talk about?
Let's go for the mailbag.
Okay, cool. Apologies to everyone. We've been a little behind on getting to our mailbag questions, so I think we're going to do like a full mailbag episode and read a few of these all at once. Hello, my name is Katie. I've been enjoying the podcast for a while now. I have a question for the podcast. Why do birds seem to choose to be in dirty or seemingly unideal habitats when there's a better looking habitat nearby? I don't know if I could call my husband and I birders, but we really enjoy seeing them and identifying them on our walks and such. We live outside of Tampa, Florida, and we see so many birds, specifically water birds, since there's lakes and ponds basically everywhere. There's a roadside ditch we drive by almost daily that has just been so full of water for so long, it's basically just a long, thin pond lining this stretch of road. Every time we drive by, I always look to see what birds are in it. There's always like a million ducks, sometimes whistling ducks, my favorite. I love how pink their bills and feet are. Great blue herons, little blue herons, roseate spoonbills, cormorants, limpkins, coots, and so many more. But those are what's usually there daily. I've seen what I think are pelicans too, but there's a deeper lake nearby, so they might have just been stopping by for a little visit. This roadside pond is pretty dirty. It's got lots of plants and algae growing in it, but also a ton of trash and I bet runoff from the road. My question is this: how badly do you think this is affecting the birds? I always wonder why they choose to be in this pond specifically because it seems dirty. It's along a relatively busy road, and there's bigger lakes and ponds within eyesight that look way cleaner. Why would so many birds congregate in such a small area that just doesn't seem ideal? Is this dirty water harming them in any way? If you want, I can take a video of it next time we drive by so you can see them all. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
That's a great
We'll
question.
match that with a picture of the gulls at the dump. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Uh, yeah. They're looking
Yeah.
for food. And yeah, the stuff that's in that water definitely affects them. Runoff from golf courses, salt that might come off of the road in the wintertime. Yeah, all of that can definitely have negative effects on birds. But, they're eating algae. You're not going to go to the pristine, fast-running water if your diet is
Oh,
algae.
Well, and I'd love to see her video of it. I'd love to have her send that because that would be fun to look at.
Yeah.
I think the other thing about those waterside ditches sometimes is they're easy to see because they're right by the road, and so you're more likely to spot things in there. So there's some of that. But I'd also say there have to be fish in there because the herons are there for the fish, or it could be frogs. It could be that there's, and so it'd be interesting to know if she watched that, say, year in, year out, or all through a year, and took data whether there are certain times when the fish eaters are there and certain times when the algae eaters are there, and that it changes around a little bit, because I mean basically the rest of life is looking at that ditch as something to live in no matter how bad it is, and so that's why the birds are there.
It was an awesome list of birds. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this
I
has got to be a
know.
fun place to drive by.
incredible. Yeah. Would birds see other birds?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
Nope.
And
Nope.
yeah,
Go
birds
ahead.
would see other
Oh.
birds and go check out what the birds are at, for sure. Absolutely.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
You
safety
don't
in
keep
numbers
good
almost.
places a secret for very long.
Okay.
There's definitely been some research on that where they've done things. The one I'm thinking of is black vultures routinely look for turkey vultures to go down in places, and so they'll follow them around and then come in.
So they use each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the vultures and their sense of smell lets them find rotting things. So if you see a vulture that's looking like it's found something and you're also eating dead things, you're going to follow the turkey vulture and hope you can take advantage of, the spoils of that dead animal.
And you can come on places, for instance, I think of the rice fields in Louisiana, where at the right time of year there can be lots of things that you can see 40 to 80 great egrets and snowy egrets and cattle egrets out in these fields together. And it's just because one has realized that there's a smorgasbord in there, and couple more show up, and then next thing you know, there's 80 to 100.
Louisiana and their crawfish. So if you're if you have crawfish in your rice fields and you're cultivating crawfish too, those are some tasty morsels in a farmed environment. In fact, I want crawfish.
Oh.
You're like, that sounds good.
It does.
That does sound good.
We should do that someday. We should order from one of the mail places in Louisiana. We should order crawfish in.
Oh.
one day.
I was
do
won-
like a boil or whatever.
Oh, I was wondering, as LSU alum, is there like a crawfish place in Chicago that you all go to that when you get a taste for it?
I don't know.
When we've had it, it's been because somebody,
Brought it.
packed some, brought it up from
Oh.
Louisiana or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there are.
I love crawfish.
I don't know if they still have it, but Whole Foods has had crawfish from China, but they are not the same. They don't taste as good.
Oh.
They're not nearly the
Yeah.
same. So you can buy them crawfish tails already all peeled and ready for you to make etouffee or something like that out of them. And I've done that, but it's always disappointing.
Okay, you can tell because you've had the real thing.
I mean,
yeah.
or I don't know about the real thing, but we've had well spiced ones. Let's just say. I
Okay.
mean, so it's really common to go and get a takeout of a pound of crawfish. John would get potatoes. I don't like potatoes, and corn, and those things have been cooked in the crawfish boil water, and
Mm.
Oh,
so delicious.
wow.
I was
That's awesome.
I was trying to explain to Amanda, 'cause she's never been to a crawfish boil, how people just stand around like a garbage can, basically, and
That's
you just have
right.
your tray next to you, and you just are shelling them and throwing them in.
Cracked
It's
me
like
up.
it's like animals, but it's
Oh, it's one of the
but it's
most.
so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great time at our wedding dinner where we just had a big crawfish boil over at this friend's house.
Oh, no
Oh,
way.
cool.
We had all these Canadians that had never had crawfish before, and you
Oh,
just put this big pile of boiled crawfish out on the table, and everybody just picks through it,
yeah.
pulling off
Oh.
the tails and eating them.
And then there's who's going to be the bravest to suck the head. I'm not joking.
Suck all the
And I know
organs.
Mrs. Waite, one of my mom's best friends, did that. I have a vivid
good
recollection
for
of
her.
people asking her if she just sucked the head. The answer was yes. But
Good for her.
yeah,
That's
why
wait,
I
so that was
told
at
you-
your wedding?
Yeah, that's why I told you to do whatever you want for your wedding, right?
Oh, yeah.
We had a formal part, kind of, but only because you could, if you're a student, you could rent the faculty club on campus basically for free.
Mm.
And we did that. But if I were going to do it again, I don't think I would do that. I would have done that outside somewhere too.
Yeah,
And
in Louisiana in the summer.
it's March. It was beautiful that day. The azaleas are blooming. It was absolutely
that hot.
incredible. But then, and it's like, okay, well, you're not in the small town I grew up in, so you're not having a traditional wedding. Shower in the basement of the church, in the rectory with all the church ladies bringing you things. I didn't want any of that. I did not want a poofy dress. I did not want 18 bridesmaids. I did not want 350 people at my wedding. I didn't want any of that. And so, but the people who came could completely suspend their ideas of what a wedding was. And then they had a really great time, because after that, I mean, who doesn't enjoy good food, good music,
Yes.
people having fun, wearing
Totally.
shorts, no fancy clothes, nothing
You
like
can't wear
that.
fancy clothes to a crawfish boil.
No, it's a bad
No.
idea.
That is so cool. That's like
Yeah.
a cultural experience you gave everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my family had so much fun. One of my uncles rented a white car, and it had gunshot holes in the back of the car. So that's like part of
How American.
that's like family lore now. So there's pictures of him pointing at the holes, the gunshot holes in his rental car.
That is hilarious.
And even some of my grandmother's siblings were still alive at that point, and came down from British Columbia to go, which was really
So
you know,
nice.
they'd never been there before. It was really a lot of fun.
So special.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, the wedding industrial complex has distorted little girls' perceptions of, or what people expect of little girls when they get married. And I don't, it's the only thing that matters is that you have a party. If that's what you choose to do.
Celebrate how you want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
agreed.
and even though I watched, and I still watch every once in a while, Say Yes to the Dress, when I see people spending $5,000 on a dress, I just want to, it makes me shiver and shudder.
I know.
Amanda, where did we get our wedding clothes?
We RJ and I got our wedding outfits like almost 100% with Kohl's cash at Kohl's.
I think you started something there.
Yes.
I mean,
And I wore shorts.
He wore shorts. He wore like a tropical play suit. It was like a Hawaiian shirt with matching shorts. It was so cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
We just
the
did a
only
small thing
stressful
with
part-
family, and then go ahead, Shannon.
No, so you had so were you guys by yourself at the courthouse?
So we had a couple friends come to the courthouse,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 friends that came with us, which was awesome because they took pictures, and so we did that. And then the following week, we met my family up in Michigan, and just did a small kind of ceremony with them. So it was really nice.
Awesome.
And we're excited because now we have 2 anniversaries.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And the courthouse was a lot more fun than we thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty sterile, pretty sober, but everybody was in a good mood. There was lots of people. That was another thing. A couple of people I know had gotten married at the same courthouse, and they had told us like, you'll probably not be alone. But we got married on a weekday. They had gotten married on a Saturday. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll be alone. And we were definitely not alone.
There were 9 other couples.
9 other couples. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Everyone was so excited. It was just like a fun atmosphere, and yeah.
Weddings should be fun. If your wedding is stressing you out too much, take some things off your plate. Although I had maybe it was good luck, my mom's misfortune of falling and breaking my wrist right when it was the time to address our wedding invitations, which my poor mother had to do by herself.
No.
But her handwriting is much nicer than mine. And John, there's no way in hell we were going to have John do that.
I could have done that.
No. We didn't have enough for me to reject your handwriting.
John, aren't you a
we
lefty?
wanted the invitations to get to people, John.
I'm surprised you let me sign the marriage license.
Did you?
Check the record. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I guess the question is, can you read what I wrote?
Is it going to matter?
That's another
I don't know.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you guys are in. You're in.
I don't know that I'd say that because there's some things of going through my mom's stuff and trying to get things organized in her life. She went by a different name than her birth name, and never do that, because now trying to make sure that all of the records have her legal name, not the colloquial name that she used. And good Lord. It's very complicated.
There's nothing nefarious in what she was doing.
No.
Right.
Trying to hide her Italian heritage. So her name is Antonia, and she went by Antoinette because that is not an immigrant name, right?
Right.
So both of them are nice.
Right.
But, not to immigrants.
Right.
Or right now, the Canadian government.
Yeah, oh my God. And it's hard to take her places. And the idea that she's going to have to go into one of the Canadian governmental offices to talk to someone, my God. It's no good.
She'll charm her.
But my mom was very well organized. So, going through all of her stuff in the house, trying to get her life organized and her house ready to sell, unfortunately. But it was so much fun to go through because it's very well organized. And so she had my brother and I each had a box of stuff in the basement, not big boxes, but there was all this really fun stuff in it to look at, which was really, really cute. I need my mom's birth certificate. I need my parents' wedding certificate. And I found everybody's birth certificate except my mom's.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I have the birth certificates of my Nona and Nono, and I have my dad's birth certificate, and I have my brother's and mine, and not my mom's.
Wow, rats.
I have no
Rats.
idea where it is or what on earth, but yeah. So now I need to scan a whole bunch of pictures in. I drove so that I could have the pictures to come back with me, and I do have a lot of pictures. So
That's awesome.
again, are really fun. But look at how far we went away from dirt in the ditch to
Yeah.
pictures in a photo album.
It was the crawfish.
Yeah.
That's
The
just
crawfish
the
was
crawfish.
the
Oh, the crawfish. That's right.
I
Oh.
would love a video.
Oh, but
And
now,
again, the other thing that would be cool is to set up a camera that just, like a motion camera that just took photos of what comes in and out of there on a regular basis.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
That is-
sometimes that stuff would be really fun to know more about because it's
Yeah.
probably even more than she's describing, which is incredible.
yeah, if
Oh,
the
yeah.
place is that icky, it's not like you're going to sit there for hours on end counting all the birds. It's
Right.
not like going to a pristine beach or anything like that.
Right.
That's
The-
such
the
a
other
cool
thing
idea
that
because
happens-
I was just gonna say it's so cool. There's so many of those like bird buddy, cameras now and everything. It's like, setting one of those up somewhere in a public place where there's a lot of birds. Like, I mean, I feel like that's such a attainable thing now. That'd be really cool to do.
I want a European goldfinch at my feeder. There are
Oh.
goldfinches all around us, but not here.
So they're in Evanston, right? Is that what
they
you
are
said?
in Evanston.
Yeah.
Although I have
Wow.
not checked the camera today.
Oh.
See, the birds are a lot happier because John's
There's
home.
not one there.
He's better at remembering to feed them than I am.
Oh.
All right.
I
well,
remember you sent us that picture of one that was like mooning the camera because you said John had it fed.
Yeah. So they're trying to put their whole body up the feeder to see if there's even the hints of a seed left up in that feeder.
all right. Well,
Oh, sorry, RJ, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I think we got time for one more mailbag question. Should we get into the next one?
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So he says, "Hi all. My name is Eric, and I live near Philadelphia, right next to Valley Forge National Park. Recently, we noticed house sparrows had made a nest in our unused planter on our balcony. Unfortunately, one morning we saw an enormous crow land on our balcony railing right next to the nest. We noticed after scaring it away, it had already destroyed the nest and eaten all 5 eggs. The sparrows have since
Oh,
made a
wow.
new nest a week later in a more hidden spot, but the parents are constantly calling on the balcony, and were doing this before their first nest was destroyed. Wouldn't this be attracting the crows back, saying, 'Hey, I have more eggs for you to eat'? Curious for your thoughts, and see the new and improved nest attached." And he sent a picture, which I can post. And then he said, "P.S. I found your podcast today. YouTube recommended it to me, and I couldn't be happier that I found it. Hoping this will propel me to get into birding."
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Eric.
That's a great question. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
I mean, lots of
Yeah,
birds
what-
scold, and it does seem silly, right? You're like, okay, why are you shouting here, here, here? Advertising that you might be sitting on a nest or watching babies. But then again, you might just piss the crows off. I don't think the crows need a screeching bird to find them because they're so smart. They'll find them on their own.
Okay.
But maybe you're going to drive away some of the birds by squawking like that, or they'll come after you and leave your babies in the nest alone. So it's kind of like a decoy thing. I don't know. It does. I get that. It does seem kind of crazy.
It does seem crazy.
Yeah, I hope Eric does use this as a launching pad to get interested in birds. But with house sparrows, it's also clear that even though they do stuff like that on a regular basis, they're one of the most prolific birds in North America when it comes right down to it. So
Yeah, the thing clearly re-nested right after.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said, John, about hoping that this does propel him into birding too, because I feel like it's, just something,
Yeah.
a little moment like that, it just opens your eyes and then you start looking at everything differently. And it's like, yeah, it is kind of sad to see this crow come and eat all of these eggs, but then it's also like you start looking and you kind of, I don't know, I'm sure he's going to see house sparrows somewhere else and he'll look at them and see a crow somewhere else and then start paying attention to how they act. So I don't know, that's exciting for
And now I'm
Eric.
going to say something horribly mean, which is that bird populations are declining. So the fate of more than 50% of birds every year is to die. And yes, that's horrifically blunt, but those kinds of losses are built into the system. Obviously, you can't replace an individual. I get it. But if they die by a museum, you should ask the museum if they want them and bring them to the museum. And if there are repeated birds that are dying, those events are worth noticing because things like bird flu can sweep through, or some other novel virus could sweep through a population. And if he's paying attention and watching, all of a sudden a whole bunch of birds are dying, and it's not just because crows are there licking their lips as they watch the babies get big and fat enough to be worthy of eating. You just never know. A lot of interesting things happen from what seem like casual observations. So it's great to notice and then to ask questions.
Yeah, that's a great question.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this one? Does anyone want to close it out?
Learn a new language so that when you go to places, you feel comfortable. And don't be afraid to use the technology now that helps you that with live translation. You can go places. John, it's one of the things I admire so much about him. He's not afraid to try new languages and new places. So
that's awesome.
As long as it's Spanish and Portuguese.
No, you try French too, but that you don't do so well. And I'm not like that. If I can't do it really well, I'm very hesitant. So I can understand things, but I'm so held back from actually speaking because you never know it. Even in English, I say things that nobody knows what I'm saying. So you imagine things I'm worried about saying in Spanish. And I think Portuguese is one of the most beautiful languages that is spoken. I think it's beautiful just to listen to, even if you have no idea what people are saying. They could be then, counting to 100. It doesn't matter. They could be talking about the garbage items in the garbage dump, and it doesn't matter. The language is just so beautiful. So
that's awesome. John, you speak Portuguese?
I speak Portuguese.
Very cool.
Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah. Cool. No, it's a great language.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Do you guys speak other languages?
I do not. I took Spanish up through high school, but I didn't really retain any of it. We went to Spain. I don't know, what was it, Amanda? Like 5 years ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
It was like we were in trouble.
We got along okay.
I'm sure you actually learned some things too. I mean, I ended up in situations where I was working for several weeks at a time with people that didn't speak either Spanish or didn't speak English, in situations where they were speaking Spanish and Portuguese. And because of that, you basically, if you want to communicate with them, you've got to listen and learn. And once you get down the basics, it starts rolling along and you can begin to get the basics of conversation. What I always say about my Portuguese was I spent 6 months in Brazil in the field with people that spoke no English or very little English. And so I learned a lot of Portuguese to where I got back to the University of Arizona and took a Portuguese class. And for the first time in my life, I remember in a language class, I could understand every word the professor was speaking. And I took Portuguese. And it was great. But I also realized that I hadn't learned to write in Portuguese to save my life. And so I actually had to scramble in that class because it's like, what's a plural? The plurals in Portuguese have all these extra vowels in them and stuff. And it was just,
oh, gosh.
Yeah. So you gotta, there may be ways to do it at the same time or something, but conversation is great. I love that.
I think you did it right to learn by necessity and then you took the class. That sounds ideal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Well, thanks everyone.